Hey guys, welcome back to another Awe-Inspired video. This one is going to be a little bit different because I'm going to be talking about one of my games, my favorite game sequel. So Last of Us 1 was my favorite game of all time and still is. I played it like 9 times and I'm going to be talking about the sequel to that, and I'm going to be doing a review. I wasn't planning on doing this originally, but I have so much to say about it after I finished it. It is a very long experience and I have so much to talk about, so I think about why not I just make a review. Now I have a few disclaimers before I get right into this. Well, first one, this is going to be spoiler filled review. The first part is going to talk about the gameplay, which actually won't be full of spoilers, but if you want a completely blind approach, then don't watch this. The second part will be about the story, which I'll tell you when that is, and you have a lot of time to click off then, and the spoilers will get straight into the story. Okay, the second disclaimer I have is that I am not taking a political statement while I'm reviewing this game. There are many reviewers that have been getting hate because they don't like a certain character because of their homophobia status, for example. It's not like that, okay? They don't like the certain character because they're not written well. That's literally all there is. There's so much hate, especially to Abby's voice character, who's one of the main characters in the game. I do not agree with this, and I'm just going to say before I get into the review that I do not have a political status with this. I'm just reviewing the game, the story, and its characters. Alright, really sorry for the long intro, but let's get straight into this. The gameplay of The Last of Us Part 2 is mainly split up into 3 main sections: exploring, especially in the first part of the game, combat, which as we all know is a very important part of The Last of Us, and also some puzzles including the ropes. Now, the combat I'll first talk about. It was really fluid, I found. It was really amazing. It never felt as rigid as before, and it almost felt like you were actually, brutally murdering someone. And I know that's not preferable to loads of people, but it really made you feel good, when you go for a completely stealthy room. So sometimes I used to reload the checkpoint if I got caught, because especially if you're playing on the hardest difficulty like I did, because I really enjoyed it, you don't have ammo, and ammo is really scarce, so you really want to go stealthy, and that is what I found really fun. This was really fun, the gameplay, the combat, so I thought that was really great by Naughty Dog. Now the second thing was the rope puzzles. Now these were they were a mixed bag for me. Like sometimes you just turn on a generator like before in The Last of Us Part 1, but the ropes were used quite a lot, but I didn't really mind them because they were used in creative ways. I mean, it's not like there's only a few times where the rope was used in the same way as before, unlike the ladders in Last of Us Part 1 where they were used to climb stuff, obviously, but this time it was used really interesting, as you could pull things down with the rope, you could get into certain areas, swing off it. That was really interesting for me. It's almost like the grappling hook and Uncharted, but a lot different and a bit more useful as well, because you could be really creative with the uses. Now the exploration is really odd to me. So in the first part of the game you have a massive open world, not really massive, but you have an open world exploration, and I thought that was really interesting at the start. It's not something that Naughty Dog have done, especially in Last of Us Part 1, and I thought that was really interesting to me. It's not like a linear level as usual, but however this was so vast, like it was incredibly detailed, which is props to them, I have to say, but it was insane how many times I got lost. And they even have I know you can switch on the beacon checkpoint, but that's not really how I like to play. It kind of ruins the immersion. I really got lost quite a few times because you have no idea where to go and just looting cabinets for the first half of the game. So I feel like it didn't really pick up in the exploration segments because you're just looting cabinets, solving safes, which is really boring, I have to say, and some other things which are just fighting infective, and just as you can see on the screen. So I would say exploration could do a lot more work, but later on, after the game starts to pick up, starts to get really interesting, especially as the story develops, then you get to see more linear levels, you get to have more combat, more exploration. It was really interesting, and I feel like that was a lot better and well done. Don't get me wrong, the environments are vast, well detailed and incredible, but I still feel like it would have been better if they just, toned it down a bit, made it easier to know where you're going to go, because I don't really like it when it just wastes my time. But Last of Us, especially when we're talking about Naughty Dog here, no one really cares about the gameplay. Of course, it's a very vital important, after all, you are playing a game, but it's all about the story, and that's why so many people are outraged or either love this game. I mean, there's so many mixed reviews, especially from critics and the users. It's just massive difference. People think it's artistic, people think it's just plain stupid. Now I want to give my opinion, and I also want to give an opinion that will make you want to either play this game or hate it, because it is, after all, subjective. All of these opinions, all of these games are subjective, and obviously the majority don't like it. So I'm going to be talking about the story now. So you have been warned, spoilers are here. Please click off right now. Spoilers are in. Alright, let's get into it. So the big turning point, the big spoiler, the massive plot twist, very early on in the game actually, is that Joel dies. I actually didn't have a problem with Joel dying. I know a lot of people really complain about this scene purely because Joel dies, and there are loads of times where a main character dies, like in Luke Skywalker in the Star Wars series. The problem was with the execution of Joel's death. It made no sense at all. I really have no problem with Joel dying. I feel like it was fine, he has to be killed in a dirty way. He has to be killed so hard that we get revenge. But it makes no sense how he died. First of all, he gives his name and just like where he lives to random strangers that they just met. This is nothing like Joel. As you saw in the first game, he just drove past someone. He already knew with his survival instinct, that person was just lying. This is part, by the way, after they get the car from Bill's house. This is just so dumb. It just baffles me how Joel, like the man who is so serious all the time, the man who knows how to survive in the apocalypse, would just give his name, his like where he lives, just some random strangers they just met. Okay, it's so dumb. It just baffles me. Okay, I understand that Joel dies. If they did it in a better way, that would make sense, But it's just so dumb. Like, who would do that? Even if you're not like Joel, you still wouldn't give your name and where you live to some random strangers, even if you're in an apocalypse or not. That's just a given rule. So it's really, really dumb. So after Joel's poorly executed death, we now play as Ellie, who is trying to track down the murderers of Joel. We all know that Abby killed him and her friends, so Ellie's trying to kill them in this massive revenge plot. Now, this is actually a really interesting idea, how we can see both sides of a story. I didn't really have much problems with this segment. Obviously, Joel was so close to Ellie. I mean, everyone already knows this. It's just obviously what Ellie would do. She would track down the murderers of Joel. This completely makes sense to me. It's a really good, interesting part of the game, especially when it starts to pick up, when you actually find Ellie's killers, when you find the people who killed Joel. Not Abby yet, but her friends. This is really, really interesting. And then, of course, we meet Abby at the theatre. Cut to black. We think we're gonna have a fight with Ellie, but no. Cut to black, and we replay all 5 days of Seattle with Abby. Now, this is completely fine with me. I don't mind playing with Abby. Okay, I know a lot of people had problems with Abby here. I feel they could have made it really interesting if they did it well. So the plot of Abby has nothing to do with the plot of Ellie. It's just trying to help these Lev and Yara, trying to get some medicine from them. It's got nothing to do with Ellie's plot, trying to track down her friends. I mean, we could have a really interesting dynamic. Okay, let's say you're Abby, okay, and you just met some friends of yours, who's pregnant. You just met some friends, okay, and then you cut to Ellie murdering them. Okay, how would that make you feel? That would make you feel conflicted between the emotions, because this game really wants to make you feel conflicting emotions. This is so baffles me how Abby's plot has got nothing to do with anything, it's just some random thing. If they made it remotely similar, if they connected it with Ellie's story, it would have been so interesting seeing both sides of it, because as you know, if you murder someone who killed your father, there's always both sides to it. Abby had perfectly fine reasons for getting revenge on Joel. After all, Joel killed her father. Ellie has reasons for killing Abby because Abby killed Joel. It just makes complete sense. But why is this not expanded? Why is this not developed? Why is Abby just going to go protect some random people when Ellie's killing her friends? It just makes no sense. If they made it really similar, if they made it connected, it would be so interesting, the dynamic. Now I'm going to talk about a massive positive for this game. There's one part where you're playing as Abby and you're in the sniper mission. Now this is incredible. I really like this part of the game because this is what you call quality storytelling. So you find Abby here. She's just been tracked down by this sniper who literally wants to kill her, like on the door. If you get out of cover, he's gone. You're gone, okay? So you really have to be careful, and it's really long actually. It's around 10-15 minutes just ducking cover, running, and it's really difficult. I actually died like twice I think. It was a really fun segment though, and when you reach the sniper, you just want to just knock him out. Yeah, you had enough with this sniper, but when you reach him, it's actually Tommy. Now this game has made you conflicting emotions, okay? You do not want to kill Tommy. You don't want to kill him, okay? But when you realize that, oh my god, all this time I wanted to kill that sniper, it was actually Tommy, Joel's brother. Now, there are so many different parts of this game, and I feel like Tommy was a very well written character. He's always showing up, always tracking down Abby, and that really makes you feel conflicting emotions, which is what this game wants to do. Now, it's been executed poorly in most scenes, but this scene was really good for me, so it's a huge plus and a huge props to Naughty Dog for that one. But no doubt, everyone will be talking about the ending. This game was all about revenge, okay? Then at the very last moment, Ellie just lets Abby go. Listen, I've seen many people say this game is actually about forgiveness, not revenge, especially Cosmonauts Variety Hour. He has a very interesting review, and I feel like you should check it out, even though many people disagree. I do disagree personally, but I thought it was really interesting. But it makes no sense, okay? Literally, Joel was murdered by Abby, and Ellie's been on so many missions. She's killed hundreds of people, and he actually gets to this one person that she really wants to murder. The one person she wants. She just lets her go free. It kind of means that this game was entirely pointless. I do understand many other people's points, but loads of people are angry about this ending. It's not a happy ending, and this ending will make you depressed. This entire game is so sad, and I just feel like Naughty Dog didn't deliver on most of the parts of this game, especially the ending. It just makes no sense. It literally makes no sense. I don't understand why Ellie would do that. It's just acts so out of character. This entire 20-hour plot. Not only did Abby's part just completely waste my time, nothing to do with Ellie's plot, but now at the end we get no clearance. We just let Abby go off free. It just makes no sense. Literally the dumbest ending I've ever seen in my life, and I know a lot of people will hate me for that, but who cares? It's subjective and it's my opinion. But literally that is one of the biggest problems I had with The Last of Us Part 2. Now overall, I do not think this was a rubbish game like many people are saying. I do not think it was a bad game. I did enjoy it most of the time. Lots of times I was feeling, okay, you know, this is absolute garbage, and the ending will make you cry. Every part of this game will make you cry. But I feel like Naughty Dog, in some aspects, really captured the emotions you want to feel. It feels like one person wrote an incredible segment, and the rest of the game was written by complete amateurs, like it's written by completely different people. And I feel like Naughty Dog did let us down for this. We waited 7 years for this, and I really do feel that The Last of Us Part 2 could have been a lot better. So overall, I will just give this game a solid 5 out of 10. Now listen, I've given The Last of Us Part 1 a 10 out of 10. Overall, The Last of Us Part 2 isn't a bad game. It's not good, but it's not bad either. It's like in the middle, so 5 out of 10 was a really appropriate score, I would say. But I think why people are so frustrated is because this is Naughty Dog we're talking about. They made an Uncharted series, they made Last of Us Part 1, these were all 10 out of 10 games, and then you get this rubbish game that loads of people, probably the most awaited game on the PS4, especially in its closing days with PS5 now announced. It's just been a massive letdown. So I really understand people's anger, but I feel like a lot of this is unwanted. Thank you so much for reaching the end of this video. I know a lot of people aren't going to see this or aren't even going to make it here. I'm probably only going to get like 2-3 views on this video, but it was something I really needed to talk about, and I'm so glad I made this video because The Last of Us Part 2 has got everybody talking, and I've got so much to say about it. I made quite a short review, so if you guys really want me to talk more about this, I can talk about this game for days. But if you really want me to make more about it, then I will. make another video only if you guys like it and comment and all that good stuff. But please subscribe, it really helps out the channel, and thank you so much for watching. Alright, see you guys later.